I'm gonna turn the key and see what kind of pressure we get going on. Oh, look at it go. I can hear it leaking. Oh boy. Abandoned in the Arizona desert, a 2016 Can-Am Defender HD10 XT. You can see by taking a look at this thing that it's obviously been exposed to the elements. We don't know the last time it ran. It's probably 5 years since it's run. What we want to do is figure out what's wrong with it. We know it won't start. Rehabilitate it and put it back on the trail. The thing is, Defenders are really good work rigs and they're really good play rigs. In fact, one of the UTV driver guys said, hey, you know, I would wheel that thing in Moab. Challenge accepted. You know, we want to get out there and have a really good time, but what we don't want to lose is all the utility that the Defender offers. With the dump bed, its ability to tow heavy loads. They're really good all-around rigs. It deserves to live, and we want to give it a second life. It is filthy inside and out. It is unbelievably dirty. Here's the glove box. It's obviously dislodged. What's cool about the glove box is it's also a toolbox, so you just pull the handle and you can lift it out, but look what's underneath. I mean, look at this mess. You can see the cab, you know, this accumulation of dirt on the floor. The seats are sun roached, they're split. Look at where the seatbelt was for God knows how long. 5 years it probably just sat. It's obviously it just hasn't been touched. The brakes are rusty. Hasn't needed to stop because it was stopped. It has not gone. See what's happening here. Like, how does that happen? You know, I mean, it's not a sealed compartment, but look how filthy that is. You know, it's like, what is that? Oh, looks like electrical. Probably some fuses under there, relays. Oh, that's where the winch control goes. So we're under the dump bed in the engine bay, just checking things out, making sure the wiring all looks good. Rodent damage on the wires or something could be keeping it from running. We just want to make sure everything looks in order, and so far it looks pretty good. Oh my God, is that a turd? It looks like a coyote turd or a raccoon or something, but it's huge, huge turd under here. Plus all kinds of rat poop and stuff. So there's definitely been rodents in here, but plus side is all the wiring looks pretty good, at least from the top side. So obviously we need a new battery. And how can you tell it's new? Because it's the only clean thing on this rig. So you just pop the seat up. We have the cover off just so you can see the battery. Pretty clean. The terminals are really nice. In here's the fuse box. We've been inside the fuse box to make sure the fuses weren't blown. So let's see what happens when we turn the key. We're in park, ready to go. 350 RPM. Why wouldn't it run? Well, we need spark, we need fuel, and we need compression. We know that's what it takes to get a rig running. Spark. Could it be spark? I guess it could, but it's really unlikely. With these electronic components, there's no moving parts. It's really unlikely. Compression, we cranked it over. It's a 60-degree V-twin. It sounds like it's got compression. Again, it's a 1,035-mile rig. So what we're gonna go with is we think it's fuel. It's, you know, electric fuel pumps. It's been sitting a long time. Yeah, so don't do that a lot, but it doesn't smell horrible, especially if the gas tanks aren't completely sealed. The fuel can really go off. You can just smell how bad it is. This doesn't seem too bad. Now we're gonna hit it with the starting fluid. I'm gonna hose it in this. Wow, that was better than expected. It just lit right up. Oh, it wants to run. It wants to run. We got life. That's really fun. So this is cool. Like this is a fuel issue, clearly, because that's fuel and it just lit up. So we got spark and compression and fuel. But we need reliable fuel. We need fuel from a fuel pump. So that's what we're gonna look at. So what we have is, I have a set of fittings. I went out and bought a bunch of fittings so that I could hook up to different kinds of hoses. And so I have this hose, and then I get a T. And what we're gonna do is tee this into the fuel system coming out of the pump before it goes to the injectors and take a reading. So we'll close the system. It could run with this thing. I could mount this thing in the cab and drive around with this huge fuel pressure gauge if I wanted to. Let's see what happens. Barely a twitch. I might have 1 pound. We have maybe 1 pound when the pump is making the noise, so we have to take the pump out, see what's up. For that, we got a kit. The way the pump's held in is with this big black plastic nut. I'm just gonna go Hercules on it and see if we can pull it off by hand. Yep, okay, great. Super grunt power. All right, there it is. Factory fuel pump. Like I said, it's a $400 something piece from Can-Am, and they give you this whole thing, which is convenient because from the top to the bottom, you just drop it in. Pickup is real clean. So what we do with our kit is we'll get this thing off and we can put the motor in here and then see where this wiring goes. You can see the zip ties and the fuel lines and stuff. So we'll have to figure that out. As I said, the fuel pump company didn't give us directions on how to do this. So we have to fly a little bit blind on what we're doing. Brand new squishy piece to hold this guy in. We'll use our new one. Even though the old one looked pretty good, we'll just start fresh. What I think we have here is a rebuilt fuel pump with a new motor, a new regulator. I don't know, let's put it back in and see what happens. Oops. Okay, pump's back in. Oh, I heard new noises. New kinds of noises, that's good. And nothing! All right, step 2. Now we got to figure out what's really wrong. Well, let's get the fuel pressure gauge back on there real quick. I just want to check fuel pressure. I got the gauge. I'm going to turn the key and see what kind of pressure we get going on. Oh, look at it go. Okay, it's leaking off. I can hear it leaking. Oh boy. Yep, the fitting wasn't quite the right size. What we have is a lot of free gasoline over here, so we're going to clean that up. Oh, you hear that? Fuel pressure. Oh yeah. I've had enough gasoline for one day. Okay, the injector's not firing, so it's either signal going to the injector, which I think we can check, or the injector's just stuck from stuff in it. Oh. I was done with that. Proof we got, again, fuel pressure at the injector. So we pulled off the fuel injectors of the Defender. Both injectors had signal. Because it had been sitting, we just thought both injectors were clogged. So we pulled the injectors out, and here's an injector, a bare injector. This is called the fuel rail. Even though it's not much of a fuel rail, it does change the direction. I have cleaned this injector. There's a couple different ways you can do it. So I've done the cleaning. Yeah, we're gonna put them in and see if it lights up. So I was very excited. Came over here, we turned the key, and it didn't start. I'm like, what is going on? You know, you could probably see my emotions in that part of the video because I was excited and I couldn't figure it out. And you know, we figured out it's probably the fuel injectors are stuck. We don't think that this vehicle has any choice but to start right now. So let's see if it starts right now. Yes! All right, we did it. See how it sounds. Make sure, yeah, we're in park, wouldn't start. Okay, so we'll just give it a quick check, see if it moves. You know, it hasn't been in gear for ages, so years. All right, she lives. Oh, yeah, like butter. Dude, this thing runs surprisingly good. Super crisp, pretty fast. It's really peppy. It feels really good. Even with this old gas in it, it's running really nice. Check it out. It's running really nice. The clutches feel good. The ratios are good. This has that DPS, dynamic power steering. It goes straight when you point it, well, pretty straight when you point it straight. It turns super tight too. It's like, it's very, these all have, not all, but especially something with a shorter wheelbase like this, the turning circle is insanely good. It's got, you know, pretty old gas in it, but it's smooth as could be. The power's really good. It just snaps off the line. We're in 4 high. Defenders are awesome. They're like a pickup truck almost, you know, we sit 3 across, and carries 1,000 pounds and it'll tow, I think, 2,000 pounds. And I believe it now after driving it. They're really peppy. So do I need to sign?
Yes, please.
Okay. So yeah, so anyway, we just got this thing outdoors and we're driving it around and doing burnouts and whatever. Not recommended, but I couldn't help it. So we just did a test drive in here, and here it is running. And then the truck shows up with the parts, the custom parts. We have extended A-arms, we have a windscreen, we have some doors from Super ATV. And so we're super stoked. Like this is a very cool happenstance, not planned, just radness happening. So let's go check out the parts. I got a sign for him. He probably doesn't want to be on camera.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, let's just pause and go see our stuff. This is why we like utility rigs. Hope I look good. This one's pretty big. There we go. Still fits in the bed. Well, that's awesome. Sets us up great for the next part of the project. Take it from here. We're gonna clean it and then we're gonna modify it and get it out on the trail and really we'll get that lift kit, we'll get the big tires. We got some Kenda tires coming that are 32 inches in diameter, and we'll get this thing out on the rig. Can't wait to modify it. Can't wait to have you guys along for the ride on this thing because it's just very exciting. I love getting stuff going again and breathing new life into it, and this is like absolutely a worthy rig. It runs super nice. Hit that like button. It's not a love button. You don't have to love this, but definitely like it if you like it. If you have questions, you want to comment, get down in the comments. If you have things you want to suggest that we do to the rig or things you want to know more about as we go through the process, get down in the comments. I'll definitely be keeping a close eye on it. And we're super excited to get this thing going. I can't wait to wheel it in the backcountry Utah or wherever we go. It's going to be awesome. Glamorous part of this job, but look at all the stuff we got down on the floor.